Alright, and welcome back. This is Vaipo. I'm back with another game of League of Legends. Now this is going to be another interesting match with Evelyn in the middle. Now I'm not quite sure how she's going to pan out against the Kali, but I suppose the only thing we can find out is just jump into this game. So again, time and time again has Evelyn actually surprised me lately. Not only in the tournament where she came back and she just demolished the enemy, and also in that previous game where, you know, after getting first blood she also managed to completely carry that team to victory. And I hope I'm not actually making a wrong call there. I do believe they won that fight, if I remember correctly, but she definitely was doing very well up until the very end. So we have a bit of an interesting composition actually, because at the top we have kha'zix. He's, I suppose, an okay top laner. Warwick in the jungle, of course, is perfect, but then at the bottom we have Jarvan and Blitz. Now this is a bit unorthodox because of course we don't have an AD carry. Jarvan is not an AD carry, as most of you will know. On the enemy team we have a Caitlyn and Sona, which is a pretty typical composition to have at the bottom, looking at the current meta, of course. We have Lee Sin in the jungle and Darius up on top versus kha'zix. Now Lee Sin does look like he's going to be going here right after the red. The top laners still haven't gotten level 2, so this is going to be an interesting engagement here. It does look like Darius actually jumps onto kha'zix. There's going to be a bit of an engagement from both of them, but it does. I'm not quite sure actually if kha'zix did spot Lee Sin here, but Lee Sin's shockwave, or sonic wave rather, misses. So there we go. No first blood called up on top. Now Blitz just missed that. If he would have picked up Sona there, that would have probably been a first blood no matter what, even if they would have exchanged kills there. But there is a ward here, so they can definitely see Blitz. They're probably going to try to avoid all contact with him. Now there we go, we have an exhaust going off on both damage dealers. Does look like Blitz jumps in. He does pick up that first blood. Now unfortunately Blitz is not the one that wants to be picking up that kill, but it does look like Sona might actually drop here as well. I'm not quite sure how exactly this is going to work out. They're both low, so if they do pick up the kill, one is going to die, and there we go, Blitz is going to get taken out by the turret. So we have a 2 for 1 trade here with both Blitz and Jarvan picking up 1 kill each. Now Blitz did pick up the first blood, which is a little bit unfortunate, but there's nothing really you can do about that. When you flash in and you use your knock-up thing with the fist, I'm not really sure. I really have to learn all the champion skills. Power fist, there we go. When you use that, you're pretty much bound to get the kill when somebody's that low. So it is going to be interesting to see how exactly this turns out, because of course a carry does get pretty dangerous late game, but she still gets very squishy. So of course if she does end up getting pulled, she is going to most likely end up getting killed, as the case is with practically all Blitz. Wow, that was kind of strange there. She actually flashed in there, and it does look like they kind of kill each other right there. I'm going to go back quickly to see how exactly that happened. I do believe that was probably a misclick from Akali to be flashing in like that. It was a little bit sloppy. I'm not quite sure if she should have done that. There we go, she did use that to actually get her Q procced before actually ulting, so that way she could end up getting a second Q up there to finish off the kill. But Evelyn did pick that off in return, and we do have another kill at the bottom. Blue team is doing very well at the bottom at the moment. Sona did get picked off again, so that means who picked up that kill? No, Blitz actually picked up that kill. A bit unfortunate again. Blitz is either trying to chaos these kills, or they just simply genuinely are accidentally killing them. I do believe that Jarvan should be the one who's getting fed, of course, as any damage dealer would want to be, or bruiser for the top lane. And we're going to see exactly how this is going to work, because obviously a fed Jarvan is dangerous, but a fed Blitz can also be dangerous. So some of you may be aware of how much damage Blitz does just as being a support. If he pulls you power fist and ults, you could lose more than half your health like that, especially if you're somebody like Caitlyn right here. I mean, look at her health, 678 now. I understand they're not level 6 yet, but Blitz ult does, if the lightning procs beforehand, then it could do like about 300 damage. I mean, minus magic resist and all that, so it would be around 300 damage on a carry. I mean, that's half her health right now. I do understand she's going to have probably about 800 or 900 health by the time she's level 6, but still that's going to be a third of her health just from Blitz. Now keep in mind the Blitz is not even the damage dealer, and that's just a pull and the ult. Power Fist will also do extra attack damage, and there we go, deal double his attack damage as physical damage. So basically it's just basically a Sheen proc of some sort. So going back to the top here, I'm not quite sure who's winning the top lane right now. I really have to rearrange the champions as well. Darius versus kha'zix at top, supports and carries go at bottom, and there we go, rearranged. Oh wait, no, my bad. So Darius doing his usual bit of damage. Now Darius is one of those champions where if you engage, you just want to keep going, because if you don't, you could end up wasting a bit too much health for what you've actually done, because Darius is one of those champions where he goes in, he pulls, he spins. That's all he really needs to do to push somebody out of lane, because they have he has so much damage. So gonna see exactly how that's gonna work towards late game, because from what I see right now, kha'zix seems to be doing a fairly good job at pushing him back, and I'm not quite sure whether that's based on maximizing Void Spike or what, because Void Spike is a ranged attack and it does look like it might be working for him quite well. It does look like there might be a bit of damage. Oh wow, that ult from Darius, and it does look like Darius might drop. There we go, the minions do finish off that kill. So a 1-for-1 here, but as you saw, Darius just spins and then his ult does a ridiculous amount of damage, especially since they just hit level 6. Well, kha'zix is not even level 6 yet, so if kha'zix was level 6, this might have even ended up a little bit different. We might have had a, you know, kha'zix surviving or something. But we're gonna see exactly how that progresses, because I'm gonna have to keep track on kha'zix. He is a new champion, so I'm not really that familiar with him as much. I know how that his skills evolve with his ult, but the thing is, he can be built as both AP and AD, because his passive, every time he disappears, increases his damage done. I'm going to quickly read it again. I did do it before, but when kha'zix is not visible to the enemy team, he gains unseen threat, causing his next basic attack against an enemy champion to deal 45 plus AP ratio of 0.6 it looks like, bonus magic damage, and slow by 35% for 2 seconds. Like, this is a crazy passive. Not only does it give you a 0.6 AP ratio on your skills, which isn't a passive, it's not even a skill, it's slow for 2 seconds, and quite a nice one. 35% slow is not something to be, you know, ignoring. Wow, look at that, that was pretty nice there actually. Does look like Warwick is going to jump in, Akali is going to jump in as well, but it does look like Lee Sin is going to get dropped. Warwick is probably going to get dropped if he's not careful, but it does look like Evelyn decides to just back off right now. I'm not quite sure why Evelyn didn't just finish him off, because well, actually I suppose if she did finish him off, Akali might have finished her off. So I suppose might have still been worth it though to pick up an extra kill for Evelyn. She is doing not the worst, not bad, but not the worst at the moment. 1-1-0, and we do have damage going off at the bottom again. Jarvan picking up Sona, and it does look like bruiser slash support versus AD carry slash support seems to be a bit better in the early game. It does look like Jarvan is going to tank her for a little bit, as well as a turret, but he probably runs to the wrong side where he should be running, but I guess they got away with it, so why not. Lee Sin is going to be coming up here, but he is going to get spotted by the minions as soon as he gets near them. They are going to want to back off here, running away from Lee Sin. There he goes, and that's it. So as you can see, bruisers at the bottom, very good. You can tank an AD carry and a turret for quite a long time, and obviously it's not going to really make a difference to the metagame, because the metagame at the moment is pretty solid. We have, you know, AD carry or AP at top, depending on what's in the jungle. If there is a bruiser in the jungle, they sometimes might go for an AP carry in the top. If there is an AP in the jungle, then they pretty much always will have an AD bruiser at top, because otherwise, you know, you have too much AP. But at the bottom we always usually have, well, as you can see, there are exceptions where you have the support and something like Jarvan or Gangplank or one of those tanky champions against AD carry support. Now AD carry support is the usual build that you'd use, but obviously there's exceptions to everything. It does look like Akali might be in a bit of trouble. There we go. Actually it does look like Evelyn pick her up. Warwick does jump onto, I believe he jumped onto Evelyn, but he did get pushed away by Lee Sin. Probably not the best of ideas. He should have probably jumped onto Warwick and then pushed him backwards so they could pick off Warwick as well. But you know, when you're in the action and you're trying to do some damage, not always the best, you know, focus on what to do exactly. So the bottom actually managed to get up here. I'm not quite sure if there was any SS. Of course I don't have the chat on right now, but the bottom is going to help the middle take out the turret. So Warwick actually going to engage here. If they would have jumped onto him, they would have probably killed him. Blitz wouldn't be able to do much alone versus the three of them. Of course he would be able to do quite a hefty amount of damage towards Caitlyn, but Caitlyn of course supported by Sona, and the fact that there's three of them might have just turned around pretty badly for them.
Purple team's turret has been destroyed.
Purple team does get a turret destroyed actually at bottom, so bottom here definitely doesn't want to engage against Blitzcrank and Jarvan because they're doing so ridiculously well. Again, it does look like kha'zix versus Darius seems to be a fairly balanced matchup. They're both doing pretty well. I mean, 1-1-1 and 1-2-0. I mean, that is a pretty close score. Their farm is pretty close, with kha'zix being slightly ahead. And I'm not sure, is kha'zix going to be the new Darius counter, or at least the Darius survivor? Wow, look at this, the Sona might end up getting away. No, Jarvan does flash in, gonna get probably picked off by Lee Sin here. Shutting down Jarvan finally after 4 kills. Blitzcrank does also get picked off. What did Evelyn build this time? Evelyn has built a Deathfire Grasp. So there we go, that's the second Evelyn we've seen now with a Deathfire Grasp. This does look like it could be the new metagame for Evelyn players. Now a lot of her damage is going to be based on both her her ult and her Deathfire Grasp, because they both do percentage damage. Now, as I said in the last time I casted Evelyn, what she usually wants to do is use her Deathfire Grasp first, followed by her her ult, Agony's Embrace, because Agony's Embrace does of total health, and Deathfire Grasp is only of current health. So I'm sure like towards the late game she'd probably be able to do a good 50% or more of someone's health with just her ult and ult and Deathfire. Probably even more actually. Wow, look at that. Evelyn is so close. She might get picked off though. Warwick is going to get a hit on her there. Lisa not quite able to safeguard away, and there we go, 2 kills taken off there with the help of Blitzcrank and Warwick. Now Collie's in the position that she wants to be in right now. She's at 4-2-2. That's not the most fed of champions, but she's doing well enough to be able to survive in the mid lane right now and probably be doing more damage than Evelyn. I'm not quite sure how much more damage, or if even more damage, because of course Evelyn does have a Deathfire Grasp. This is one of the items that completely imbalances your opponent, because it does a percentage of their damage, and the later you get on in the game, the more damage it's going to do. And it's one of the best scaling items, I would say, except for against tanks, of course, because tanks might have minus 75% damage taken from magic resist, and then, you know, it ends up that you're not really doing any damage to tank if you use it on them. Unless, of course, you have a tank like Darius, who's just building armor and health at the moment. And it does look like Safeguard going on to Darius. Wow, look at this! Darius is not going to survive. This is the second time that Darius has went down using the minions. kha'zix and Darius is such a close matchup, it's not even funny. It's so ridiculously close, and kha'zix is slightly ahead, and he just about managed to kill Darius. So that just shows you how much of a close matchup it is for kha'zix versus Darius. Now we do have Lee Sin actually flashing over that wall. It does look like Akali is going to try to continue after him. Not quite sure if this is going to work out. One more hit onto Lee Sin, and no, he survives. That support just about kept him up. So we have a somewhat close match. 2000 gold difference at 15 minutes. Not the closest to matches I've seen, but regardless, it is not a complete domination. So there's not going to be a surrender anytime soon, hopefully. Of course, it's only 5 minutes, so the earliest one that could be is at 20 minutes. I'm going to quickly speed it up as everyone is gone back to heal / lane / farm creeps. And who picked up the blue? It does look like Evelyn got the blue buff. We're going to see her doing quite a lot of damage. She did pick up a blasting one, so this is practically the same build as the previous Evelyn that I saw. Now the next item I would assume to be either a Rylai's Crystal Scepter or possibly a Rabadon's Death Cap, which could be a very viable build, maybe even a Rod of Ages, but I highly doubt it'll be a Rod of Ages. Does look like Akali is going to duke them around the place here and definitely get away. Not sure if she should have went here and not just went straight back. It does look like Caitlyn picks that up with her ult. She should have probably went straight back to her base, to be honest, but I suppose what can you do when you're in the moment. Does look like Sona's going to get picked off here as well by Jarvan flashing into an ult, and gonna have a bit of trading going on. Now Blitzcrank is a bit ahead here. He wants to be able to pull somebody, of course, and I'm sure the purple team is gonna try to do their best to deny this. Trying to move my seat forward and I seem to be like bopping my head here. So this shirt looks horrible, but never mind. Back to the game. Let's quickly look at, I'm gonna compare damage roughly. Let's look at the bottom laners for starters, the carries versus, well, the carry versus the bruiser in this case. I would say at this moment Jarvan has quite a lot more damage than Caitlyn. Caitlyn is going to scale past him in the late game, but he's probably going to get tankier than her. So that's going to be a bit of an even situation there. Now Jarvan has just bought a Warmog, which means he is going to be going pretty tanky from now on. I'm not quite sure how much full tank he's going to go, but he might end up going for the Ghost Blade from that Brutalizer, or he might just keep the Brutalizer and stay like that for now. Now it does look like kha'zix is going to be in a bit of trouble here. He does end up getting away just about there. Lee Sin does get caught though. Very, very nice engagement from the blue team, picking up that Lee Sin right before he ends up diving onto kha'zix further, and Lee Sin keeps doing some really bad judgments with when he should continue or not. Of course, when he gets a Sonic Wave off, he's not quite able to see the rest of the team, but it does look like wow, look at that, Evelyn gets dived on, completely taken out under 2 turrets right now. They're still diving Sona, and they are going to of course kill her. Jarvan going to take down his ult before everyone dies inside it, and 2 towers got dived there, and even a third one got engaged a little bit. So there you go, that shows you the power of bruisers, because of course look at their team right now. The blue team has such a bruiser heavy team. I mean, even Akali could be considered a bruiser sometimes because she's built so tanky, and then on top of being tanky she also has her magic shroud, or cloaking shroud, or whatever it's called, twilight shroud, which helps her to get extra defense inside it. Now looking at the rest of the team, kha'zix is going to be somewhat of a bruiser. Of course he is a bruiser right now, and then we have Warwick, who's at this meta currently built as a full tank. Usually he might get oh god, what is it called? He doesn't have it yet, but Wit's End. Warwick's practically always just go full tank with a Wit's End, and then they have a ridiculous amount of damage for the rest of the game. Sometimes in the very, very late game they'll get a Madrid's Blood Razor as well, which would just give them a little bit more tankiness as well as more damage. Then we have Blitz, who's a support slash tank, kind of speaks for itself. Warwick is getting dived here again by the purple team. Darius able to tank almost anything at this stage. Then we have Jarvan, who, look at his items, he has a Warmogs, he has Mercury Treads, which means he's already a tank. Then looking at the enemy team, Caitlyn, super squishy, Sona, super squishy, Evelyn, in a team fight, not super squishy, 1 versus 1, pretty squishy. Saying squishy quite a bit too much there, but there we go. Evelyn is going to get taken out. Look at these guys, they're so low and they end up surviving for so long. Darius is quite low actually, but since he is a bruiser slash tank, he is going to be able to get away there unkilled, and they're going to want to back off now. So there we go, Lee Sin and Darius are the only tanky champions that the purple team has, and I'm not quite sure how this should be addressed by Riot. I do believe that they have to do something about tanky DPS, because the way I see it at the moment, if you build some champions right, it does look like tanky DPS are the way to go, because they simply do too much damage for being such tanks. I mean, look at Jarvan right now. He has 155 AD, and I can guarantee you he does more damage than Caitlyn, who has 170 with probably more attack speed as well, 1.1 attack speed to 0.9. And Caitlyn is so much easier to kill than him. I mean 1.3, just slightly under 1.4 thousand health to 2.7, and it's just crazy how much, you know, bruisers are a bit dominant in this game. And I'm sure Riot probably has some plans for it, or at least they have been trying to address it, and of course they have been trying to address it. They've made a lot of changes to many of the champions in the game, whether it was nerfing their damage, nerfing their survival, or just nerfing them overall. It does look like kha'zix picks off Evelyn again. Evelyn not doing as well as in the last game. It does look like she's rushing a Rabadon's death cap. Darius does get pulled forward. He is going to get taken out straight away. Not quite as tanky as he'd want to be. They jump onto Lee Sin as well, and Lee Sin of course drops in moments when there's five of them jumping straight onto him. Excuse me, my voice broke there. No, I'm not still going through puberty, but you could say that, I guess. So purple team is going to be on the low end right now. They are starting to fall behind. They are about 7,000 gold in deficit compared to the purple team, or the blue team rather. Did I say the blue team? I don't know. Purple team is behind basically right now. It does look like Evelyn is going to get picked off as well. kha'zix picking up a legendary title actually, and look at that, Akali's staying around with such low health. She could probably end up getting taken out here if she's not careful. All it needs is like 1 or 2 hits from Darius or something. There we go, Lee Sin does jump forward, not quite able to get in there because kha'zix does put off a slow. They're in complete full retreat right now. Even Akali puts down her shroud just to be able to get away right now. So there we go, they're going to be completely backing off. She's laughing here, but I would really be laughing back if Lee Sin somehow managed to catch onto her and kill her. Now Warwick is going to be going up towards here, towards the blue buff. I'm not sure if he's going to want to give it to somebody else. Possibly might want to. No, actually never mind, he's the most viable right now apart from maybe Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank could probably use that buff as well. But for the purple team, they really want to be starting to put it together a little bit. I mean, of course, yeah, they don't have as many bruisers and as many, you know, tanks as the blue team, but the thing is, towards the late game, if they don't give up now towards the late game, this could change completely, because of course Evelyn is going to be doing a crazy amount of damage, and Caitlyn is going to start to carry properly, because carries are pretty good in this game. I mean, obviously they're in the meta game right now at the bottom, but the problem with carries is simply because they don't do as well in the start as they should be. I think carries should be doing a lot more damage in the start than they do at the moment, because they just simply don't do enough damage, and that is a little bit unfortunate, because you know, you have to drag it on to about half an hour before a carry is going to do you know, a significant amount of damage. So there we go, blue team is going to be starting to take out the dragon right now, and it does look like or not the dragon, the Baron. I keep calling the Baron the dragon. I don't know why I keep doing that. There we go, purple team is going to be here. Actually, does look like Jarvan is going to jump over here. He is going to jump straight onto Caitlyn. As you can see, Caitlyn drops in just a moment. I mean, he didn't even do that much damage to her, like, considering, you know, he didn't hit her that much, and he almost killed her right there. So definitely. Oh, look at that. Actually, it does look like Caitlyn is going to get dropped, and there is a surrender going off. So that's pretty much it for this, guys. That's the end of this game, and I don't know. It does look like that Evelyn wasn't quite able to carry this game as well as she should have been. Akali was doing pretty well here towards the end, doing quite a lot of damage to whoever she jumped onto, and as you can see, kha'zix, he does look like he's taken his place in the league. kha'zix, I wasn't sure about him at first. I mean, he was being built as AD, but I can see him now as an AP as well. Of course, he was built as an AD here, but the way I see it, he's going to be viable as both choices, because with his ult combined with his passive, AP is going to be doing a crazy amount of damage. So I'm just going to leave you with this game right here, and that's pretty much it. So as usual, guys, if you enjoyed the game, do leave me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think below. Leave criticism or any comments in the comment section below. Of course, you know where all this stuff is. So that's it. I'm Vaipo, and I'm out.